So here we are, guys. As you can see, this is not the ideal conditions for a car review, but if you look there, the GAC Empow actually looks better in this kind of weather. It really shines, it really shows its curves and everything. I prefer it. But anyway, this video will be a mix of vlog and also a review of this GAC Empow. But because this is more of my experience of this car, and full disclosure, I love this car, so it's gonna be a little bit biased, but I'm gonna do my best to show you the good and the bad. So tara, let's start with the video. Okay guys, welcome to the POV tour of this review of the GAC Empow GE. So here we go. Look at this car. It's really nice when it's a little bit on. It has this wet look. It's beautiful. This gray color. All right, let's start with the tour. So for the wheels that you have here, you have 18-inch wheels and those very nice yellow calipers. When you look into the front of the Empow, this is my favorite part of it. It has a little bit of European, influences, but I don't really mind where the influence came from. It looks awesome. For example, at this angle, beautiful, really very pretty. And then when we take a look at the LED headlights here, you have these two bars here, very distinctive. Also, if you look into these yellow accents, I love that. I love that it's a little more interesting. You have a S logo there, very cool. Let's take a look at the side profile here. For me, the side profile of the Empow is sort of leaning now a bit more executive, a bit more classic, or not really classic, but really classy. I think that's the right word.
Now, aside from this moonlight gray color, other available colors for the GAC Empow are elegant black and ivory white. You have this Fox carbon fiber on the side mirrors and also on the underside of the car. I like that the GAC designers included this molding on the deep pillar of the car. Then when it comes to the size of the Empow, the car has this commanding presence with it measuring more than 15 feet long and about 6 feet wide. The great thing is, even with its 125mm of ground clearance, never coming sumayad, even with big humps.
Going to the back, there's a bit of Japanese influence this time. But again, for me, it doesn't matter where the influence came from. As long as it looks good, I'm fine with that. You have this epic exhaust, which is for me kind of like 30% or 40% of the experience of the Empow, other than the driving, of course. That exhaust makes a ton of difference, at least for me, when it comes to driving enjoyment of this Empow GE. So how about you guys? What do you think about the look? For me, it's one of those cars that I would happily just take a chair and just sit all day and just stare at it, because it's a absolutely beautiful car. And more and more I look at it, especially at this angle, I think it's a really nice looking car. But all right, let's move on to the interior. All right, next let's go into the car. So here's the key fob. So in order to open it, other than of course using the key fob here, all you need to do is be close to the car, and there you go, the car opens. That's a really nice feature. And going into the car is pretty easy. It opens quite wide, no issues there. So for example, you have electronic adjustments for the driver. Oh yeah, by the way, so let me show you the controls here. For example, you want to open up the gas cap, you have to use that button. And annoyingly, if you want to open the trunk with just a button on the back, you need to press this button here for about 2 seconds for it to open. That's a little annoying. This has 6 speakers and it sounds pretty good, not bad. Of course, it has all power controls. All throughout the car, you have this carbon fiber accents, which they're okay. They're okay. Also for this car, you have red stitching. Let's get inside. So to start the GAC Empow, of course, you step on the brakes, hit the start-stop button. There she goes. So, for example, for this one, it does look like it's a wireless charger. Unfortunately, for the Philippine variants, that's just a cover. That's just for you to place your phone. So it's pretty big anyway. Although I have noticed that if, for example, you're gonna press on the accelerator hard, make sure that you don't have anything here because it's gonna fly off, and that's happened to me so many times already. Okay, so let's start with the AC controls. Performance wise, I've had this for over a week. It's pretty good. The great thing about this Empow is I think they've really thought about just having enough of the physical controls. Because, for example, if you're gonna switch drive modes, you have the toggle switch just beside you. And then even the volume, unless you want to use the controls here on the steering wheel. I think that one of the best features or characteristics of a lot of the GAC cars that I've driven is the steering wheel. The leather wrap here, for example, this is leather here, and this is really gripped here. Oh my goodness, it feels amazing. You have a flat bottom steering wheel there, and you have this very racy or sporty red indicator there to indicate that's your steering wheel is centered. I don't know how GAC has done it, but the materials and the feel of the overall vehicle, they just got it right. There's got to be a really very smart guy when it comes to the interior of GAC cars.
Other features of the GAC Empow is a 7-inch full digital instrument cluster. You have different themes for the design and shows you all the info you need. The 10.25-inch infotainment system is very responsive. Although it doesn't have Android Auto, you do have cell phone mirroring. And for Apple users, you have Apple CarPlay. Of course, you also have a backup camera. I love this metal plated pedals. There's plenty of cup holders everywhere. You got a sunroof, USB ports, and a 12-volt socket for your gadgets. This nice detail of the GAC logo on the leather seats is also pretty cool.
So let me talk about the things that I don't like about this GAC Empow. Number one, it has this winky dinky rear view mirror. Tapos yun nga, that the trunk thing where you have to press the key fob twice. And that's cool, but that can get annoying, I think, as you go along.
And room-wise, the GAC Empow can comfortably sit 3 adults at the back, even for really tall people. It's also very practical with a huge trunk. If you need more room, you can fold down the seats with the 60-40 split. Then finally, we come to the heart of the GAC Empow, which is a 1.5-liter turbo engine. This produces 168 horsepower and 270 Newton meters of torque, mated with a 7-speed wet dual clutch system. It has a really good fuel consumption with 10 kilometers per liter with a mix of city driving and around 16 to 18 kilometers in the highway. It rides on McPherson independent suspension in the front and a multi-link beam at the back. And if you were interested, the top speed of the GAC Empow GE is more than 200 kilometers per hour with a 0 to 100 kilometer time of 6.9 seconds.
Alright, now, so we're testing out the ADAS system of this GAC Empow, and all throughout my experience, I've been very impressed with it. It's been very reliable. There's a lot of Chinese systems that I've tried that are not so good, but this one, I think this is up there with the best performers when it comes to ADAS system. Another nice thing about this GAC Empow is the ride. It's really good. It's It can handle the bumps really well. My wife even says that it's just as comfortable as our SUV. I think if it's not obvious now, you know, when I first got this, I took it for a drive, and almost immediately I knew, just like the first time I actually drove this, just test drove this, when me and Jay Walker sort of tested it, I immediately fell in love with it. And even after months of not trying out different cars, this car still stands out to me. It's very close to my heart, I would say. I love this thing. I adore this car. It isn't perfect. I don't love it because it's inexpensive or cheap. I love it because it's a really good all-rounder. I don't have to sacrifice anything. For example, if I'm carrying my family, we have plenty of room. If we need to carry a lot of stuff, the trunk is huge. If I need to carry luggage, I can just fold down the seats. And most importantly, it is so much fun to drive. It is so nice to look. It is so nice to look at just parked in your garage. I still yearn, I still look forward to just hitting the road all by myself in the morning or at night and just driving and driving and driving.
So there you have it, guys, my review of the GAC Empow GE. To me, it's one of those cars that truly challenges the common misconception that Chinese cars are solely about value. This car is not about where it's from or who made it. It's about how GAC went out, designed, and delivered an absolute monster of a car. If you love driving, you owe it to yourself to give the GAC Empow a test drive to see and feel it for yourself. I leave you now with this cinematic montage. I hope you like it. Thank you so much to GAC Philippines once again. More videos to come. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel and hit that like button. This is Paul again for Test Drive PH. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.